The pandemic caused by the COVID-19 has produced a devastating effect on Montenegrin society. This health socio-economic shock has led to the loss of thousands of jobs, with many facing an uncertain future and women being drastically affected. The pandemic only exacerbated the existing gender differences. Everyday life has been virtually suspended. Women make up more than 70% of employees in health, education, tourism, trade industries, and are on the front lines combating the COVID-19 pandemic. The acquired economic independence of women can become a silent victim of this pandemic. In order to contribute to the creation of adequate policies, UNDP investigated the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the female population in Montenegro. 36% of women report reduced or non-existent access to health services during the pandemic. Almost half of respondents experienced a decrease in personal income. The cost of living since the beginning of the pandemic has become quite a burden for about 40% of women in Montenegro. One-fifth of respondents who took out loans sought financial help from friends or family members. The research has shown that women working in the private sector are much more affected by the crisis than their public sector counterparts. In the first 4 months, the net wages of women in Montenegro cumulatively dropped by €2,347,600. The number of unemployed women between March and June 2020 increased by 3,560, representing 56% of the total number of the newly unemployed persons. The research indicated that in the largest number of the cases, the entire everyday care of the family, children and the elderly was transferred from the institutions to women. During the pandemic, women's work in the domain of unpaid work and domestic care exceeded that done by men by 92%. In the period from April to June 2020 alone, women earned €122.3 million in monetary equivalent of unpaid work and domestic care, while men earned €63.5 million. On an annual basis, women's unpaid work and domestic care amount to €489 million, or 10% of GDP. It is estimated that a woman born in Montenegro will spend at least 8 years of her life engaging in unpaid work. Developing gender-responsive policies both during and after the pandemic remains a necessity for every contemporary system of institutional support. Investing in gender equality is key to Montenegro's economic and social prosperity.